we've had some crazy good games. However, in this match, Blood Run. Not the first time we've seen it, but we haven't seen this map too much today.
Not a massive amount, but SombrA going in with that Ranger pick, and Blaskovic's already quite a different comp than we're usually used to seeing at this point. But we can actually see there the Sorlag pick again. SombrA with the visor there as well.
I wasn't just drinking there, I promise.
Of course not. However, regardless, I think at this point we're seeing Ranger. We haven't seen much Ranger today, which is a bit of a surprise because he seems to be a bit of a jack of all trades, right? You know, decent mobility, decent health, decent armor, and the Dire Orb being such a useful ability.
But I think on this map in particular, Ranger is like specifically good because there are certain areas of the map where, you know, there are grates, you know, and you can see through them, you can shoot through them, which means that Ranger can put a Dire Orb through them, and that's really, really important. It's sort of game-changing for the character.
Also, it's one of those maps where you can almost pick up multiple important pickups at the same time. You know, if you throw your Dire Orb, run onto a pickup, and then time it so by the time you teleport and reappear, you're then on or very close to that other pickup, and very useful for that.
He can take 2 key items at once, you know, and some of the maps are a bit more prominent than others for that, but it's a very strong tool that you can have to go, you know, instead of having to decide on Blood Covenant, for example, do I want Rail and Rocket? Why not have both? However, looks like we're going to see Sorlag picked first, and it's going to be Visor versus Sorlag, immediately getting extra armor as well. So Luminus looking especially stacked right now, even against the Mega Health. But that direct rocket is a fantastic start, and SombrA stealing away that first frag.
So we just had some really slow matches, and this one, at the time, less than 10 seconds into it, and already the first frag is on the board. SombrA is not messing around.
Absolutely not. He's going to take the LG as well. Now he's going to pop the visor ability, I think just to try and see what's safe to pick up. Trying to go in for the rail. Obviously knows it's going to be completely safe to secure in this situation.
Gets himself both Megas too, so massive amount coming out.
The middle of this map is definitely where we sort of see the majority of the fights, I think. I mean, it's where all the key items are, you know, I mean, with the exception of that rocket, but rail, as I say that, comes through and misses it, unfortunately. But rail, armor, health, it's all around here.
Well, it's definitely quite risky though, but like I said, it's a bit of a hotbed for just fights, right? Just constant fighting. Goes through there.
On top
Only
of
5
seeing
rockets available. This does have a massive amount of rocket ammo to go with.
But again, I think Luminus using the Ghost Walk to try and safely maneuver around the map. You can see that SombrA had a really good grasp of where Luminus was, but the second he used the Ghost Walk, that read or that knowledge of where he was just completely disappears.
Good patience though from Luminus, waiting for him to reappear at the teleporter. Almost took him down to critical life, but is quickly able. Oh, there's that piercing sight pop.
It's not going to do too much at this stage when I think Luminus was clearly shooting those prediction rockets around to try and deny the area. And it's going to be very risky, I think, for SombrA to try and get that armor back.
Indeed, only 50 health going here though. Mega health very nearly up. If he gets hit by anything substantial, he will die. But no, Luminus wasn't controlling the Mega health, gets it for free. And just like that, from critical life to over capacity.
Once again, I think they're just content taking the trade. Mega health for, you know, heavy armor. So it's a good trade for some of these champions, and they're content taking it.
And we're going to find himself maximum stacked now. A lot of weapons to go with too. Still only 5 rockets, but we can see that's more than enough to kill a Nyx.
I mean, sometimes if she hasn't got any armor, you only need 1 rocket.
Indeed, there's the piercing sight.
That's going to be super important that right as he uses piercing sight, he sees Luminus come straight for him. A perfect example of one ability countering another.
There we go, but we can see SombrA now finds himself with that massive advantage. Blaskovic's the last champion standing for Luminus.
And nice flick on the rail as well. Luminus is in big trouble, has to try and get out of there, but just look at how much health and armor SombrA's got on top of plenty of rails, plenty of rockets. He can fight him basically whenever he wants to.
Indeed, but he doesn't look content rushing this down so far. Can hear him come out of the teleport, and he is ready. Catches him in the corner, a little bit of damage from the rocket, but this lightning gun will be more than enough to finish off that life bar. And round 1 goes to SombrA comfortably.
I think you can sort of see a couple of different elements in that round. You know, we saw Visor, and we're like, you know, why has he selected Visor? Potential reasons, but right there.
As he pops it, and he has an invisible Nyx running straight towards him.
But right as he popped the piercing sight, he was actually looking in the other direction. If he didn't use that, he would not have known that Luminus was right there.
Oh, a couple of rockets don't quite connect. Pops the piercing sight just to see where Luminus is trying to run away, trying to control that rocket launcher. She really wants it. Misses the rail. That's a free pickup for it, but 90 damage from the rail is going to add up big time.
Well, what could have been 180 damage was 90, but either way, catches the lightning gun a little bit too low to the ground to get the rail gun, so he's not going to get the final nail in the coffin.
Good rocket jump just to get back up there again, sort of trading out damage for damage right now. Luminus still pretty healthy, a little bit of armor left to go, but SombrA just with that raw health advantage as he picks up the mega health as well.
Yeah, even though it's against a champion as tanky. Hang on, as I say, that gets hit by a raw rocket, pretty much undoing almost everything that SombrA just built back up.
Luminus sat there for a while too, definitely content on waiting for that teleport.
He's going to know that he's coming around this point, but you wonder if Luminus heard him. Maybe so, running in the opposite direction.
But again, just goes down to how aware you need to be of everything around you, even listening out for audio cues. You hear Visor activate that piercing sight, and you know it's time to be careful. Oh, what a read!
Ouch! That was a very good decision, actually. Good knowledge there on the side of Luminus. Catches it once again, though. Again, forcing the acid. We're really not seeing the acid spit do much in terms of damage, but what we are seeing is just great area denial. Luminus is shutting off certain areas of the map that SombrA just can't really push the advantage on without taking too much health.
Indeed, and there's a bit more of a sort of stalemate here as they both go for it. Piercing sight is almost up again. Does he pop it here? Yes, he does. Immediately knows. You can see him waiting there for mega health. Now, this becomes a bit of a risk going for this mega health.
Oh, it actually knocked him into it with that rocket, but again, tags him with that 80 damage rail. Not hurt him too much. Luminus still on plenty of health left. I mean, that is the testament of tanky champions. They don't really care too much about rails and they've got lots of armor behind them.
Which, though, did lose armor just now. Falls down, so he can't connect the heavy armor.
Either way, that is probably going to be a free heavy armor, but I think he's really using it almost like as a bait. I think he understands, if I go for this in a bad situation and get caught off guard, it may as well not exist. He was going to die anyway. Very cautious play from SombrA. Doesn't want to sort of give up that round lead. Bear in mind as well, like, you know, we're almost halfway through this round. We are yet to see a frag. Once again, as I say that, goes in for the LG. He's going to see him, track him really well.
Piercing sight goes through, steps the toe into the acid, just going to start ticking. Not losing too much damage right now, especially with the pickups nearby. Misses that rail. That could have been a clutch way to really get SombrA on the back foot.
Especially seeing as Luminus actually knew where SombrA was hiding through that wall because of the ticking damage. But again, the chase. Quite a slow round. I mean, whenever it's the first champion, there's a certain element of patience that both players adopt.
Oh, and there's a rail. Does he chase this, though? Was quite low on health. Has the chance to top up once again. Luminus being very timid here, not really chasing these kills.
Luminus only has 2 rockets left, so unless he tags another rocket, actually, his ability to sort of deny the area going to become a lot more limited until he picks up more ammunition. But he's probably going to pick it up here.
Yeah, he's heading towards it now. SombrA's getting himself nice and stocked up on ammo.
Oh, Luminus with the good reads. Tags one rail. Can he get a second? Yes! Takes out SombrA, and now he's got the champion advantage, forcing on the Ranger pick.
Now this could be interesting here, how Ranger has played out. The Dire Orb is already gone.
Unfortunately, actually using the Dire Orb to try and safely secure that heavy armor, but it had already been taken, wasting the ability, unfortunately. Misses the rail. At this stage, if Luminus can just hit a couple of rails, the second he hits one, he's probably going to be free to push the advantage. Look at how stacked he is.
Already catches him around the corner. Ranger prepping some rockets down, but Luminus just has... Oh, now hits the damage. All the acid, he knows he's up there.
Yeah, he can clearly see he's going to pepper the rockets. And SombrA, even though he took the heavy armor, he's taken so much damage. He's got health back, but it's still nothing compared to Sorlag.
Ooh, and again, that back-to-back railgun's going to do wonders for Luminus, taking out his second champion in the same fashion. And Blazkowicz is once again by himself.
Oh, if one champion in this game can shred a stacked heavy champion, it's going to be Blazkowicz, but he has to get the lightning gun, and I think Luminus knows that. Speaking of which, forces out the double wield, going in, tags a rail. I don't think he can fight this. He has to retreat.
You just heard it, though. 1 minute warning. SombrA has less than a minute now to take out 3 champions. The advantage is completely in Luminus' favor right now.
I mean, never call it impossible, right? But that's a lot of work. And you know Luminus, he's going to play defensive. He's going to stack up. He's going to make this comeback as difficult as possible to take.
Or, you know, on top of Sorlag having that health, gets quite out, going for it, but he is going to finish SombrA off and isn't going to need to go for the timeout. I mean, understandably, though, SombrA needing to do something a little bit dramatic there, trying to make that comeback in round 2.
I understand that decision, right? Because, you know, in some cases you'd go, why would he go straight in for that mega health where he knows that SombrA's going to wait for it and he risks getting fragged? But if Luminus takes the mega health, it's going to be pretty much impossible for SombrA to get stacked enough for the next fight because he had like 40 seconds left. There's a 30-second respawn on mega health.
Well, actually, you hear the tri-bolt being used for the first time today.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that get used. Normally you see a rocket get used for the same reason until they pick up a rocket, I think.
Oh, that was a direct rocket, but the Dire Orb in response says, no, this is my first blood.
Ranger's damage output can be super deceiving, especially seeing as that Dire Orb, even if you don't get a telefrag, the orb connecting with the opponent does so much damage, especially compared to everything else he's going to be using anyway.
We can always use it in, like, you know, part of your burst, right? You know, you hit him with a shot from something heavy, and you just throw that orb behind it. If if you're accurate enough, you can do a ton of damage very quickly.
Well, even though shooting between each rail shot is quite slow, you can still shoot a rail into an orb, into a rail, and just kind of increase the damage you can output in between those breaks. It can be quite a deceiving play.
Oh, gets hit by a rail on the way down, though. But Luminus isn't quite as accurate with them back-to-back as he was last round. Chasing him down with a Ghost Walk. I'm not sure if he's quite seen it yet.
Yeah, had to be super defensive. You see that a lot, where the second they see a Ghost Walk popped, in a fight that goes kind of bad for them, and then you see a Ghost Walk, it's almost very obvious they're going to try and use it aggressively, so they're going to try and run away, push that space. Speaking of which, does tag a rail, but SombrA showing absolutely no, actually Luminus, I should say, showing absolutely no fear and continuing the advantage. Really well played.
Ranger is down now, though, so Blazkowicz is out on the field again with that dual wheel putting out so much damage. But again, all catches in. There we go. Here
There's no Ghost Walk available, but it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, his trailing with the lightning gun just wasn't as on point as he would have liked, and he just left so much damage on the table.
Wow, and all picks up the mega health. SombrA stays alive. Luminus now very low. Pops the piercing sight. Is he chasing this? Oh no, he isn't.
He actually might be chasing him in a sense that he's just trying to head him off, just like that, right? He doesn't chase necessarily, but he knows where he's going to go, so he's still going to try and deny the area regardless.
Oh, and there's their patience waiting from out the teleporter. SombrA in a miserable situation right now. So low on health, but Luminus one rocket away, or perhaps a rail is actually going to do enough to kill him alone.
Really clutch rail at the end. I mean, if that missed, that was going to give SombrA an opening.
Prepare to fight.
Indeed, round 3 is complete. Going into this next round, we find ourselves, well, Luminus now has the advantage over SombrA 2 rounds to 1. SombrA has to put in some work.
Fight.
Well, we managed to take the first round, you know, and these have definitely been, in some areas, they've been quite close. However, he runs straight in and secures the mega health, taking a bunch of damage. Luminus definitely has to get out, but SombrA now knows exactly where he is. We see that Tribal once again being used, probably going to swap over to a rocket as soon as he gets the chance to. Yes, he is. Shouts to that retro Quake 1 rocket launcher. Pretty much everyone seems to use it as well. I'm a big fan of that.
Mega health is up in 10 seconds. They can be ready to contest for it, most likely where this next fight is going to take place. Oh no, but if they hit each other in a corner. Oh no, they're just passing by, just passing by.
Just like that. Interesting exchange between the two. Didn't really see Luminus use the acid spit too early either. Again, really standing his ground, trying to hold this. Now the heavy armor's up, he's going to try and secure it. It seems like out of all the maps...
Oh, but that decision got him killed.
Of all the maps, the heavy armor on this map is by far, it just seems like the riskiest. Like, you don't see the players go for it as regularly as they do on the other maps, because most of the time, the other guy is just waiting for the opponent to pick it up.
It's like we said, right? Oh my lord, that direct hit Luminus.
Oh
doing
dear.
Serious damage.
Spreads well, Luminus, he does manage to tag it as well. That was, wow, what a fast turnaround.
Yeah, Luminus is on point with his rails now. Was looking a little bit shaky at the start of the game, but definitely hitting him back to back when he needs to now. And just like that, finds himself taking out SombrA again. SombrA definitely had the upper hand, but Luminus' accuracy is just prevailing in this game so far.
Landing those shots, I mean, it really, stating the obvious, right, but it is the difference between winning and losing, you know. Missing a rail or hitting a rail could be what takes you out of the set or through the tournament.
Oh, catches him with a wayward rail on the way down. Forced to Ghost Walk to stay alive, tries to get out.
He's definitely not going to have Ghost Walk for the next fight, though, so got to be super, super careful. SombrA, looking, he's got a lot of HP right now. No doubt SombrA probably going to have access to that ability too.
Now it is Nyx. Oh, catches him with the mega health. No, mega arm, I should say. Just like that, though, 47 health. Manages to get himself big again.
But again, a lot of patience coming out from both players. Really not wanting to push too far.
Topping up that armor, that's going to be really important, especially if against Blazkowicz. He's got his ability ready to go with the patience on the rail again.
However, though, trading a rail for a 100 damage rocket. He's got phase shift, he's going in, he's pushing his attack, he is not ready for it. Oh no, the jump straight underneath! That was such an unfortunate miss!
It was indeed, and hits his jump pad again. Luminus accidentally throwing away what could have been the winning play.
I don't think he knew that SombrA was going to jump. He just jumped at the right time, and it saved him. Really good.
Near enough getting that rail, though. Unfortunately, misses the follow-up, and SombrA able to get a little bit of armor up. Speaking of which, gets himself the heavy armor. Oh, wow! A lot of those tribots connecting.
Yeah, just trying to sort of just continue to zone him out. Bear in mind, 8 seconds left on that Mega. No doubt that's why we see Luminus try and control this. If SombrA's going to try and come back, he's got to try and get stacked ready for the fight. And the Mega Armor really is the most obvious way of doing that.
But here we see, even though he didn't pick up the Mega Health himself, he is still ready, keeping a mental note when the cooldown is likely to reappear.
However, really look at the comparison. Even though SombrA no doubt is going to have access to his dual wield because he's playing as Blazkowicz, Luminus has got the Ghost Walk, so it's going to almost deny it. The second he sees it, he's going to pop that Ghost Walk to negate it. It's going to be a matter of having to bait out that ability for the next fight, no doubt.
And that wall jump getting him comfortably over to the heavy armor again. Finds himself stacked up both on health and armor now. Gonna be really important for him if he can find a fight, but SombrA being very, very cautious.
Yeah, maybe thought he was going to be up top. SombrA, though, going across the bottom, does safely take the mega health. But the problem is, I mean, it's definitely not time of the essence. There's definitely still time left in this round, but SombrA has got to get something going, because the second we reach a point where timeout is a thing, Luminus is no doubt going to change his game plan, and he's got access to the Ghost Walk, which he uses immediately, denying any of the momentum.
Like,
and he comes out
was waiting for him at the teleport, wasn't quite able to get it. Nice rail's going to connect, still alive. Maxes himself out on health once again, so instantly just nullifying that rail damage. Speaking of which, he's going to hit one, not a second though.
Misses it again. Third. At this stage, he's only got 75 health. He can't take a single rail until he gets armor again. But again, look at the timer. Now we're in a territory of which Luminus can try and play on that champion advantage. He only has to survive 40 seconds. Easier said than done.
I was about to say, just as you say that, loses his neck because he wasn't able to get any armor. That one rail is going to do it. Now we find ourselves with this Blaskovitz mirror. Whoa. SombrA fighting to stay alive in his first game.
Luminus just came out swinging with that one. However, at this point, sudden death doesn't become as important because they're both down to one champion. Tags a rail. Heavily stacked as well. We can definitely chase this if he wants to. And definitely the fact that SombrA has just taken the mega health. But look at this turnaround. Luminus was in control of this one round for so long. But SombrA, that one crucial frag, gets a rail. That could be the start of everything, forcing him to escape. SombrA knows he's going through, has to try and head him off.
And there's that caution again. Sudden death now activated. Find himself being really close, not trying to give away his footsteps too much. SombrA being careful too, but he's just seen him.
He's just heard the armor. Doesn't quite get the rocket though. Hang on! Catches him in the air, and Luminus pulling the momentum back. That was easily could have been SombrA's game, but what a decision at the end.
That was super back and forth as well. Very, very close. But again, only map one down. Luminus finds himself with a one map advantage, really going to help him going into the future. As we can see here already, so many kills done with both the rail and the rocket just by themselves, doing so much work in duel.
But I think what we saw right there, it was a very slow and calculated game. But at the same time, you know, you always ask the question, what's going to come next? Because now, you know, SombrA's going to have the choice to change the map. But it was looking so good for SombrA, like some really, really convincing start of the game. And then in that final round, even though Luminus looked like he was in control for so much of that round, SombrA got that one crucial frag that he needed. And then when it went into sudden death, I mean, it was pretty much anyone's game at that point. And, you know, it would have been quite interesting to see SombrA take that one back. Because at this stage, you know, we'd still be talking about the match that's taking place. It wouldn't have been over.
Of course, but it is over now. That first map done and dusted. SombrA down, one game. He has to make that comeback now. Do you think he's going to swap the stage? Because, I mean, to be fair, it was super close. Like, very much down to the wire. So, it doesn't look like the stage was a big, like, sort of deciding factor in that game. I found the word in the end. But do you think he's going to run it back, or he's going to try and change the pace up?
Well, we pretty much see stage changes all the time. I think we're actually yet to see players actually stick to the same stage. The champion pick...
We saw it once early on, but it definitely didn't work out.
Now, I think the champion pick is where things get a little bit more interesting, because there was already quite almost like... It seemed like almost like a map-specific champion pool, because it was used really well. You know, the Sorlag in particular, we didn't really see the Sorlag spit used as an attack. It was pretty much always just to deny the area, you know, to sort of keep him at bay and stop him from coming in and taking certain areas or certain items that he wants. But you wonder, if we do go in for a stage change, that's when we tend to see the champions get picked up as well.
But who'd be a good pick for that? Because we saw Sorlag already. But
it entirely depends on the map, I think.
We've seen Sorlag put to use sort of like varying success levels right now. One thing for sure is just the sheer amount of health she has is doing a lot by itself just to keep them alive. But also, like SombrA, a lot of that came down to just accuracy, right? There are a lot of rails that didn't quite connect from both sides as well. So maybe we could see him sort of tidy up a little bit.
Well,
Blood Covenant as the second map.
Amending missed rails is a very easy solution if you're kind of player that can have the execution just go right. Clearly it's just an execution thing, and I need to amend that, and I need to fix that. So if these whiffed rails, those missed rails, were as game-changing as they seem to be, I mean, that's a fix you can do. So we're going into Blood Covenant once again, but Nyx on both sides, really, really important on Blood Covenant as well, because she can just sort of command the top of the map so easily, where, you know, she can sort of take those important items, but because of the wall jump across the entire map, she can make the bridge to rail. She can make, you know, rocket launcher all the way over to, you know, where the armor is near the rail location. Like, she can do a lot of crazy jumps that don't really put her too much in harm's way. When you go underground and they get a good read on where you are, or they can hear you, you know, if you get caught in a bad spot underground where it's thin corridors, you've not got a lot of places to run, unless you've got Ghost Walk, that's a situation you don't want to be in. But if you are up top, you can avoid that entirely.
We do see Nyx a lot on Blood Covenant for that reason, though.
Definitely.
Just that mobility option, the ability to just circulate around the map as a whole, you know, going to those key areas, going to those key locations, but also having so much space, right? You know, you have space to run away, and there are a lot of different walkways and openings, so it's not always as obvious where you're going to be running to as it could be on other maps.
She's got unpredictable movement, you know, she can basically be anywhere that she wants. And because of that, her movement does become very hard to read when it comes to certain players. But Luminus, up 1 game. SombrA needs to win this game, otherwise for week 1, he's going out of the tournament.
Luminus able to get that prediction rocket though already. The big health did go to SombrA. Oh, good. Good rocket jump there just to get that rail early. Securing himself these weapons. Really good so far.
However, we have seen the damage output that Blazkowicz can output versus these large champions. So if SombrA gets him in a good situation, he can really melt that health down. But you know Luminus is just not going to make that easy. You know, one thing we're consistently seeing is players keep their distance from Blazkowicz when he's close by. They don't want to be in a situation where he can just delete health.
Speaking of which, though, he has got on the walkway here, hits a rail, he opts to go down just to not force that fight whatsoever. SombrA running away again.
Kind of has no choice, really. Hang on a minute. Actually holding his ground. SombrA waiting for him, and Luminus actually doesn't manage to get many hits on deck, so he's going to miss a lot of damage. Speaking of which, that rail's going to miss as well.
Indeed, and back to this pace again. But again, much more of a slow-paced duel than we're used to seeing so far today.
It's a very sort of traditional method we're seeing, especially when it's the first champions of each team, you know. If you're SombrA, if you lose this game, you're going out. That might put some nerves in your brain. That might put some doubts in some decisions. Hang on a minute. Abilities trade, but SombrA going straight through with the dual wield. Luminus trying to escape as soon as possible, but hang on a minute. Gets a rail.
SombrA barely alive after all that. It's so much damage from the acid. A rail too. At the same time, Luminus was forced away. That dual wield was popped by SombrA just to get so much damage out of the table, but both of them doing a great job of sort of like fixing these errors, right, and getting themselves back to healthy.
You almost wonder if SombrA pushed that when he had the dual wield and he was coming through, he did all that damage. He opted to back out. You know, he didn't want to sort of stick and commit to that fight. He is sort of relatively stacked back up, but because he had double lightning gun, I wonder if he could have taken him out. I guess it depends on his health in that situation, but looked like it could have gone either way.
See SombrA getting those rockets down just to stop Luminus from the way in.
Gets a good rocket. Oh, jumping over that one. That would have done good damage.
Oh, predicts him coming up on the jump pad.
On top of hitting him with the rail. Now, not only is he actually hit him with the rail, but he then collected the mega health. So that's only ever going to further spread the difference between the life. Hang on, double LG. He's going to push in. No, takes a massive damage rocket again. Every single time SombrA is using this dual wield, he's being forced away because he just takes so much damage trying to get the frag.
Indeed, plenty of rockets left to go though, so he can sort of go for those area Denara rockets if he wants to. SombrA still very low on health and armor, mega health about to spawn, so Luminus is going to take SombrA quite a while to get back to healthy. So Blazkowicz does have that sort of natural health regeneration. It's still not going to do as much as just picking up a mega health raw.
Yeah, picking up a raw mega health as Sorlag as well. Once again, he's going to know that the mega health, the heavy armor has just been collected, so again, you're going to wonder what their next decision is going to be. The second they sort of trade health item for health item, they always tend to sort of reset back to that sort of neutral space.
Okay, so
yeah,
in the end, this is a rail fight for sure.
Definitely not a rail fight that Luminus is going to win. SombrA kind of had that stare advantage. He had his head covered, whereas Luminus just complete in eyesight. Oh, had a good prediction on the fact that he could have got a rail through there, but unfortunately, actually, completely misses it.
Caught some serious distance on that acid, but wasn't quite enough to reach.
The acid is going to do a good job of at least keeping SombrA at bay. To sort of, at least for that duration of time, keep him prevented from going. Because, again, it's not just the damage you don't want to take. You don't want to let the opponent see that ticking number down to really almost act as a UAV. But hang on, he chases it. Is he chasing? No, he's predicting him to go down the other side. Oh, the rail! Ever so slightly. Ever so slightly misses. Very unfortunate.
Again, always approaching that 1 minute warning territory now. This could potentially be the only two champions we see in this round.
Yeah, potentially. If they both play this calm and calculated game, it's been 4 minutes.
1 minute warning.
Neither player has actually lost a champion. So when it goes into sudden death, it's going to be next champion takes it. And 100 damage rocket's probably going to do it. Now the clock is ticking. SombrA has to get a frag now.
Yes, be really careful too, because Luminus has been doing such a good job of just getting away with this sheer amount of health. Here alone, waiting for, there it is, there's the mega health. Question is, does Luminus play lame for 40 seconds just to keep this champion lead going?
Well, SombrA does manage to take the heavy armor. So he's going to be able to withstand a bunch of damage going straight in, gets the LG. Can he keep it going? Is it enough? Forced downstairs. Now he's only got 30 seconds. He's got to make something happen really quickly.
Acid Spit goes through, just trying to pick up some of these smaller healths, just to top himself back up again. SombrA right has that Ranger, so he has that access to that mobility. Use that burst damage of the Dire Orb, but is it going to be enough? There's 15 seconds left to go. I'm not quite sure if SombrA can do this in time.
He is up here though, got a prediction, but I think, yeah, Luminus was ready. He heard the rocket and went straight back through, and now 7 seconds left. I don't think realistically SombrA can chase this down.
We're still going for the fight though. We're really close to Dire Orb.
Oh, if that Dire Orb connected, it actually would have gone to sudden death.
Yeah, very surprised to see him still going for that fight, but was committed to it. But unfortunately, SombrA just ever so slightly missing that Dire Orb at the end. That would have been enough to kill, but the first round does go in the way of Luminus.
That Dire Orb was inches away from keeping that match going. But Luminus, actually, like I said, I was surprised to see him continue to fight there. All he had to do was run away, but I think he was confident he could take it. Dire Orb does fail to connect, and because of that error from SombrA, he does survive, and he's now up 1 round. Bear in mind, again, Luminus up on games here. SombrA now potentially only has to lose 2 more rounds, and he's going to be out of this week's tournament.
We've already seen how unpredictable these round lengths can be. You know, we could go down to the full 5 minutes every time. Or these guys, you know, they can find each other and frag instantly. We're seeing here a lot of damage coming out.
Speaking of
which, goes up.
Oh,
he's not ready.
That was such an amazing rocket jump straight up the back end. SombrA was looking for that teleporter. He was convinced he was going to come out that way. And Luminus, with just that next level read, going straight behind him, ambushing him with the acid, and just takes that frag so dominantly.
Oh, misses the rail. SombrA pops that dual wield again.
But again, SombrA, I feel like he's preemptively using that dual wield so much. That's a 50-second cooldown, one of the absolute longest cooldowns in the whole game. He's not going to have that for quite a while now, definitely not for the next fight, unless he can, you know, keep away for that long.
Of course, we see the Mega Health coming up in just a few seconds' time. No doubt Luminus is going to secure it. SombrA nowhere near. Again, this might be a sort of trading situation, unless Luminus can get over to the heavy armor in time. Doesn't look like he will, though.
And just a rocket jump and secure that rail. Trying to really keep my arms length. SombrA, he's almost going to have that ability back, I think, but how much damage is he going to take before he gets it ready? Luminus, confident, rocket jumping straight up there. He is incredibly stacked, but he gets knocked off the bridge. He has to try and use cover here.
When we're connected to the rail, SombrA forced to run. Luminus not really going to give chase yet. I think he's just going to try and confirm and control these weapons too. That's coming very soon. He goes in, he smells blood, he's going in for the kill, but no, he misses!
Misses 2 rockets, the second one only doing 12 damage, and he is forced to run away. However, now he's going to have a good mindset of where he is. He knows he's up top. Now he's going to run away, no doubt, try and take that heavy armor.
Is SombrA going to be there in time to contest?
Oh, he misses the rail!
Both of them missing it, unfortunately. Oh, lightning gun damage coming through.
Can he survive? No, he can't. I mean, just lightning gun versus a big champion, if you can get that stream going, you can do so much damage, even without the dual wield. SombrA does take his frag on deck, and now he's got even advantage. Well, even advantage, that's a bit of an oxymoron.
And there we go, Mega Health is up any second now. Luminus has the timer on dock, there it is. 30 seconds, that's gonna be back. He gets hit by a rail though, armor completely gone.
He doesn't know that he's nearby though. Hang on, oh, he misses the rocket. He did catch him with his back turned, but didn't actually get a payout for it. The speed of which these players are actually able to sort of like, you know, sort of duke these rockets. It's doing really well. All of these players proving themselves really difficult to hit. We're seeing these rockets in situations they should otherwise just be completely free frags, and they're missing by a hair's length and just doing not enough damage to do anything. However, Ghost Walk reappears. Oh, that's an answer back, but it's not going to be enough. Unfortunately, Luminus going straight in for that.
So Luminus also manages to take the frag as well as the Mega Armor. And once again, finds himself with the champion lead. 2 minutes now left to go, so not a little bit, not as viable maybe to go for that sort of defensive timeout strategy we've seen him going for so many rounds now in a row. But SombrA has Nyx. We've already seen how aggressive these Ghost Walks can be if you get the right read.
Oh, sees him reappear. We're not expecting that. Another whiffed rail. I think accuracy on the rail has been sort of a consistent problem for SombrA, I think. And again, another round goes down, and that's going to be match point for Luminus.
Luminus looking super comfortable in this set completely, though. I mean, 2 rounds clean in this game, looking a lot less troubled than he did before.
But I feel like it's a matter of Luminus has sort of really kept his aim consistent, but SombrA has had some really hard times landing these important rails. A lot of instances where Luminus is sort of just getting away with just the amount of life that he needs because he's not getting that consistent damage. But also on the flip side, I feel like SombrA is not really using Blazkowicz's ability, I guess, as...
It's not being quite as decisive, right?
Yeah,
it's not like, bam, dual wield just popped, that's it, guaranteed frag in this situation. Luminus is either... I think it's a mixture of Luminus doing a really good job of just juking out of the way of it and getting away, and SombrA is not being quite as accurate as you might expect here.
Well, it's also at slightly odd times, but I mean, obviously it's not just, it's not that SombrA is completely using it wrong. Luminus is definitely making good decisions on it, and he's really staying at that effective range, just out of reach. And the second SombrA goes in to land something like that, he's also taking really important rails, max damage rockets, and he can't fight, even with his damage output. Oh, ready for him to go through, but not that fast. Takes the rail, but I wonder if it's enough. Oh no, that's going to do so much damage. SombrA's probably going to die. Yeah,
no, he picked up my health, but that little bit of tri-bolt damage was enough to finish off. Probably would have survived. Picked up a small health that maybe would have kept him alive from the acid, but the tri-bolt damage was enough.
There's only going to be a 25 health down in that position, and unfortunately, the rate of which that acid ticks down, 25 health is not enough to survive that at all. But again, Luminus with that champion advantage, and at this point, the pressure is adding up. SombrA, he's a champion down, well, and he can't lose this round.
Every single life he loses here is just going to make that comeback so much more difficult. Especially the situation, a speck of life left. Does Luminus go in for the kill?
I think he's chasing it. Doesn't even care that he got hit by that rocket. It did such minimal damage. Wow.
That was a wonderful read, knowing that SombrA was the closest health pack to him at that point. It was going to be that or the bridge. He made the read, and SombrA was right there, ready to pick it up, and Luminus just said, no, you do not.
But he's just doing such a good job of making himself so hard to chunk down. He's got so much health and armor all the time. And he did see the Ghost Walk, really trying to pepper it, knows that he needs the rocket to make a comeback. And even though he's taken 50 damage, all that damage with 50 left, I don't think he cares too much. Look at all the health he's picking up.
Oh, SombrA chased him. Oh, that was going to be enough damage. Oh, no! The acid, we didn't even see it. Oh, the damage over time was just enough. I didn't even see the acid connect on the way down because we were looking at the death animation.